Well, good morning, everybody, and good morning, Chris.
Morning.
So glad to see everyone here in air quotes. I see names. Good morning, Wynn. I haven't seen you in forever. Joy is here. Crystal Meisman. Charlie Lutz is here. Hi, Charlie. My gracious. It's good to see y'all. So we do have a few more people that will be joining. That's okay. You know, when they get here, they get here. It's quite all right. But usually we like to start on time and get the class rolling. So of course, I'm not going to be teaching today because this is a class that should be taught by a realtor who's actually out there in the business working. You know me, guys. This is what I do. So Chris Nickson is going to be our. He's been working with us for quite a few years.
I've been working there so long, you guys finally gave me a shirt. My real source.
I love it. And we actually have some t-shirts. Hey, speaking of which, you know, we still have some really great swag. We have water bottles. This is my favorite water bottle here at MiRealSource. We have some speakers. What else? T-shirts. What do I have here? Some really cool stuff. So anybody that subscribes to our YouTube channel today, I'll be checking it a little later on. So anybody who subscribes, let me know and I will send you out some swag to either your home or your office. So just let me know which one you would like to do. You guys know how to find me. I'm in your inbox all the time. You can find me. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my lovely teacher today, Chris Nickson.
Hello. So I'm going to be your instructor today. And once we get going on how to do CMAs, I am going to get rid of my screen here so that all you will see is my screen that has Paragon already pulled up on it. It's on another computer. That's why I keep looking to my right there. So with that, I'm going to take my video off and hopefully we can pull up on the screen that has me already set up on my RealSource, and we'll get going with the presentation. Okay, so I'm going to get going here, and it starts by logging into my. So what we're going to do today is what we are going to do today is we're going to show you how to do a CMA. So those are the cases where you can use them for a couple of reasons. The most common use is when a client calls you up, a potential client calls you up, and they want to use they want to have you come over and talk to them about possibly listing the home. You can also use them the quick method, which I'm going to kind of show you first if you want to know what to make an offer on a home. So there's a lot of options you can do here, and I'm going to walk you through them. So the first thing is a client calls you up, or a potential client calls you up and says, hey, Chris, you know, we're interested in listing our home. We'd like you to come out and take a look at it and have a conversation with us regarding it. So you say, okay, great. What's the address? You write the address down. You ask them any information you want. Try to get some information from them as best you can before you go out there and see the home and everything else. So in this case, the property that I'm doing, I already kind of did this, came up with a home and some search criteria so that I could better present it in the class. So the way I always start when I get a call is the first thing I do is I go to, I want to change one more thing. Sorry about that. I forgot to do this. I want to make it so you can see my pointer much better. Okay, now you can see my pointer much better. It's this red circle right here. The first thing I do when I get a call for somebody is I go to BS&A and I do a property search for BS&A to find out, you know, make sure, first off, I want to make sure that who's on title, because you want to make sure that if you're going with the intent of presenting a CMA to get a listing, and you want to make sure that who's on title are the people that you're going to present to, and that they're both going to be there. And then just some other little things that you know down the road, having done this enough, if it's in a trust or some other legal entity like that, you're going to have to make sure the documents are all there and everything else. So I start with BS&A so I can see who's going to be in. And then that's where I'm going to get all the information on the property as well. That's where I'm going to get people, the square footage, the year it was built, and everything else, so I can have the basis for doing my CMA. So in this case, property I'm doing is 43331 St. Tropez. It's in Sterling Heights. It's an area I know very well. It's kind of my backyard. You can kind of follow along with me or just on your computer. Sometimes I go a little fast. It's easier when I can't see what you're doing to just kind of take notes. And if we got questions, holler at Debbie. Send her a quick little note and we'll stop and answer it. Anyways, I typed in, I was already in Macomb County on BSNA. I typed in the address, and here's the property right now. Comes up. And I can see that who the property owner is. I can also see the year it was built, the full bath, half bath, the acreage, square foot. There's also a couple other little tabs down here in BSNA that you can look at just to make sure their taxes are paid and all that other stuff. That's kind of helpful sometimes. There have been cases where people have opened building permits and haven't closed them, which could always become an issue at closing. So I just kind of look at all that. But for today's purposes, we're going here to find out. This is the public record data, or PRD, for the home. And this is where you're going to get most of your information that you're going to base your CMA on. So I pulled this up. I see who the two property owners are, which means in this case, more than likely, both names are on the title. So more than likely, if both names are on the title, then all the documents that you do moving forward are going to have both names on it. One person can't just sign over the other. That's just I've been called in divorce situations where people were trying to sell property and the other party wasn't there, and all kinds of things. So BSNA is a great, it's not 100%. Sometimes things are put in trust that don't always, the county hasn't recorded in time, but at least it's a good starting point so you can have a conversation when you're there. So I see all the information for which I'm going to use my search criteria based on. I also save this page and I include it in my CMA so that when they're asking me, well, where'd you get this information from? I can say, hey, here's what the county is showing is on file for you. So I've already done that. I'm not gonna go through and do it now, but I've already downloaded this as a PDF and saved it so I can pull it in my CMA later on. I'll show you how to do that. So now that I have the basic information, I'm gonna come back to Paragon and we're gonna do a search for homes around that property to see what we're going to be listing it at. So come up here to search. It's a residential. The type is going to be a residential type. The status, I do active for my CMAs, not necessarily, I might include 1 or 2 actives to see, so I can show my potential clients what's currently listed on the market. In other words, what the competition is. But definitely you want to keep solds more than pendings, because although this is not an appraisal, and you have to stress that to your clients that this is not an appraisal, and appraisers don't usually use pendings, you want to stick to the close. I still kind of keep them there again because it lets them know what if there's nothing else, I keep them in the CMA, the pending, so that the clients can see what their competition is going to be if they do go listed. So those are the 3 I basically use. This is basic search in Paragon. I don't want any rentals to show up. I'm not going to worry about bed because I know the area so well. All these homes are pretty similar out there. For this time, I'm not going to narrow down by bedrooms and all that other stuff. The only thing I am going to narrow it down is year built, because there have been some newer homes in the area. Most of these, where this home is at, was built in the late 90s, early 2000, and then there was a whole section of property that was sold that was built in the early, a year or 2 ago. I don't necessarily want to use those in my CMA because I don't want to compare a 20-year-old home to a new build. So I know I'm going to go with a maximum year of 2000, only because I've already done the search before the class, and I'm trying to not drag it all out too long. And then the only other thing is, gotta find it, my square footage. And above grade square foot, we're going with 2,600 to 3,200. Their home was 2,800 square feet. The reason I'm going on such a big spread is, again, I've already done this search, and if I just went like 2,600 to 3,000, not enough properties came up. I've already played around with it to know to get to there, but I'm going 2,600 to 3,200 square feet. And because I have closed and pendings in here, you have to put in a date range or it'll go back forever. And in this case, I'm going back 12 months. Again, I started out at 6 months. I didn't get a lot of properties, not enough to make it worthwhile to show in the class. So I went back to 12 months and I got more properties just to show you a little more how this class works. And where we're going to search, we're going to do a map search. So I'm going to click here. By doing a map search, this puts the subject property at the center of your search. So you just come up here and type in the address, which is 43331 San Tropez. So you click on the magnifying glass. It brings, here's my subject property. And I'm going to search a half-mile radius with around the home, and I click search radius. There it is, and there are my homes right there. So there's 6 homes all together. I'm going to click on search here, and it'll actually run the search. Just to remind you, if you're relatively new, whenever you're running a search, you have criteria, map search, and MLS default spreadsheet. If for some reason I didn't like what was here and I just wanted to change my criteria again, all I have to do is come back up here, change any of my criteria settings, and then hit search again, and it'll automatically do the search. So anyways, I got 7 homes that come up, as you can see. The highest, this is the list price. The lowest was $425. The highest was $516. Or I'm sorry, $520. So at this point, you have a couple options, depending on the client, how well you know them, how much information you want to give them, and what you're really using it for. If you're going to write an offer on a home, you can use it this way. We have a quick way to do pretty much a 1, maybe 2-page CMA that you can do through Paragon. So the easiest way to do that, and then you also have the Cloud CMA, which is that's the crux of this class, is the Cloud CMA. But I'm going to show you the quick way through Paragon first, before we get into the details of going through Cloud CMA. So here are 7 properties, and let's say I've gone through them and I looked at some of the pictures and some of the other things, and for whatever reason I feel like I don't want to include it. Maybe they had a hot tub in the backyard or something, and because I have 7 closed properties, I don't necessarily need to have all 7. Most appraisers use 4 comparable closed properties. So as long as I'm in that neighborhood, I'm pretty good. So at this point, rather than use all 7, I'm going to pretend like I did my due diligence and checked them all, and I'm just going to go through and randomly click on 4 of them. If these were the 4 I wanted to use, I would click checked. Paragon automatically makes them part of my search. At this point, it's super easy. You just come over here to reports, click on reports, and down here it says CMA. So again, it's under reports, come down to CMA, click on this drop down arrow, and you have 3 options: the quick view, the summary, and the spreadsheet. Basically, the summary is your CMA in a nutshell right there. It shows the address, the asking price, square foot sold, all this right here. This is a 1-page report you can give to your clients. If there were actives, pendings, this sheet would show those different categories. It would break it down into 3 sections. Since we only have all sold, it's only going to show it like that. Now, sometimes you get clients that are very specific on what they want to compare between properties. So in this report, it's very easy. You come up here. Let's say they wanted to actually see if there were any, if you wanted any concessions or anything like that. All you have to do is come up here to where it says Customize, Fields. Here's everything that's currently on my CMA. Here's everything I can add. So if I wanted to add concessions, you just come up here in the search area and start typing it in, and it'll pull up.
Got to select the status. You got it under the solds.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Under the status. That's the only thing I don't like about this. You have to change each sheet individually, and we're doing solds. and we're looking for concessions. So CON, I want to add that so I can see if there were concessions. And then maybe someone wants to see what the below grade square footage was, or how much square footage was actually finished, because they have a finished basement, so they've already told you that on the phone. So you want to compare what they have for below grade square foot. You can include below grade square foot and the below grade square foot finished if you want. Click on add, and both those will occur in your CMA now. And you can move these around. I like to put the concession amount after the sold price so we can see. You can even move your above grades right below your below grades, and same with your square footage for finished. If you click on save, it will, here's everything right here. None of them had concessions. So now you can see your below grade square foot. It's a 2,600 square foot home. It's got 1,700 square feet below grade, and 13 of that was finished. This has a full finished basement. Anyways, the point is you can see from the sheet, you can customize it however you want. I had a client that all they cared about were bedroom sizes. So basically, I some of these columns, and all I put up there, there's a search field that you can put in bedroom sizes, and he got to see all the homes compared to bedroom size. The other report under CMA is you have the quick view, which lines up, in this case, I think it carries 4 to a page when you print it out, and it just gives you, the quick stuff right here for you to see, so they can see in a very quick format what the homes are, where they're at, prices, all that other stuff. And the other page is the spreadsheet, which is right there. Gives you a quick little bit about each property. So those are what we call the quick CMA through Paragon. It's over here under reports. Come down to the CMA tab normally, and then open it up. And there they all are. The most important one being the summary. It always gives you the low and the high, the average and the median. So depending if you want to talk to them, the high, there's a difference of about $5,000 between the average price and the median price. If you're into statistics, you can explain to them what the two differences are, or just pick one or the other and use them. So that's the quick version of the CMA through Paragon using these properties. Lions had a question that said, when searching for townships such as Clinton, how do I know which is correct? Are you talking in BS&A, or if you're talking in RealSource, I'll show you that real quickly. In BS&A, it starts because you have to be in kind of, if you put in Macomb, in BS&A, you have to be in the right county for it to come up under municipalities when you first start out. So if I put in Macomb right here, oh, come on. I'm still in Macomb County, so if you change your county, this is where you do your search, so it'll come up for you on BS&A. In Paragon, and I don't want to lose this search, so I'm going to do a new search just so you can see. There you go. Whenever you come down to county right here, and I'll do any city, really any city. I like to do Shelby Township and tell this story. Oh, I'm sorry. And not under county, under municipality. Come on, get out of there. So if you put in Shelby, because I'm going to do Shelby Township, you see you have all these Shelby Townships came up. And when I first started and I did my first CMA, and it's a true story, I did my search and I didn't pay any attention. I just clicked on the first Shelby Township and went away with it. And I was looking also in some stuff in Sterling Heights too. They were right on the border. And I didn't realize it, but I was showing homes over near Grand Rapids. The designator is 50 right here is Macomb County. So anything with 50, that's how you know it's Macomb County. And if you're ever unsure what the county designator is, just come in here and type in Macomb. You see 50. Oakland, same way. I forgot what Oakland is. I think it's OAK. It's 63. So when you have several of those that come up, you could put in the county. You don't have to, but when you're doing an area search, here's Macomb. I think you asked about that. 5008 comes up, you're in the right one there. And I think, what's the other one? Can't remember. But anyways, here's Shelby. You want to make sure you always start with anything that's 50 is Macomb County, and you'll be all right. That's just how you know, and I hope that answers that question.
Yeah, her Clinton Township is the one that, and that's usually the one that I'll do it like you. You always pick Shelby Township. I pick Clinton because they come up with multiple ones across the state.
Yeah, that was the other one. Thank you. I'll show you. Clinton comes up right there. You have all these Clinton Townships, and they're by, ours is in first. So if you click on 4604, I don't even know what county that is, but you want to click on the one for 50 right here, and those will be all the ones in Macomb County. So again, if you're ever unsure, just type in Macomb and you see the 50 designator right here and you'll be good. Or set county as Macomb, then the municipalities, you want to do that. Anyways, back to what we were doing today. I'm going to go back to my basic report. Here are the 4 homes now that we're going to go into Cloud CMA, which is the whole reason why we're tuning in here. So with these, you have the 4 selected. We're going to come into more right here. And we're going to come down to, oops, sorry, wrong place. We're going to go to actions. Let me show you that again. You have the 4 selection. We're going to actions. We're going to click on this quick action link. And we're going to go to Cloud CMA right now. So we'll click on Cloud CMA. And that takes us to a big screen. To the Cloud CMA page. And I want to get it so you guys can see everything. Right here is your Cloud CMA page. And I'll minimize this. Get that out of there for right now. Here's your Cloud CMA, and we're going to create a report. Just a quick little bit about Cloud CMA right here. Picture loaded, it should be right there. All your account settings, you can find them here. Custom pages, which I'm going to get to in a little bit. Lead generation and everything else is all right here. So periodically, if you're new or changed brokers or changed your email or changed your cell phone, this is where you're going to go to find out to make sure everything's okay. My name, my company, all that other stuff is all right in here. Your custom pages, your integration, all that you can find right here for Cloud CMA on your little emoji over there. Okay, we're going to CMA because we're doing back to the CMA. This is the main page for all your CMAs. So we're going to create a CMA report. This automatically loads the last template you use. We're going to go with the report, whatever you want. I usually use the people's names, and it was Dan and Patricia Hugler. That's their name. If you had any private notes you wanted to put in there, you can put them in there. And the private notes don't show up anywhere. They only show up on your CMA page. So if you go back to this, you can put in any notes. You can find out anything. It's there for you to see if you want to add private notes. Enter the property address, and it should find it automatically. System's running a little slow. Here it is, San Tropez Court. There's 2 of them. One's misspelled. There's no T on the end. So this is the address. I'm going to click on that. You can put in all this information if you like. The number of bedrooms, there are 4. Sometimes it self-loads. Sometimes it doesn't. It's 2, and the square feet was 2805. Again, I got this information off of the BSNA report. It is a residential property. If you had a property photo from it, you can put it in here. Otherwise, the CMA is just going to generate a generic cover photo, which is basically an overhead map view of the property in the area. So if you drove by and clicked the photo because you had enough time, you can load that in there if you took a photo from the street or if you found one online that you want to put in there. The nice thing about it is because we had already clicked on those listings back in Paragon and then went from that page that search page to Cloud CMA, pulled in all these MLS numbers. So we have them all right here. All 4 of them are already pulled in. I don't recommend the CMAs that are quick and dirty off of Cloud CMA because it just runs some algorithms and pulls up random properties, and it's not the same as you going through and making sure that everything lines up. You're much better to do a search off of Paragon first, pull those properties in and use those properties rather than relying on Cloud CMA to do it for you. At any time you can come back and remove or add listings. It's not a problem to do, but we just have these 4 for right now. You can either click on this green fetch listings or this green fetch listings. Either one takes to the same place, which is going to take you to the next tab, which is right here in creating the CMA report. So we're going to fetch those listings. Cloud CMA pulls all that information and data in for you. If you wanted to set a price here for the property, you could, and then do a price guide in NetSheet. I typically don't set a price. I set a range, and I'll get to that a little later on. Check with your broker, see how he wants to do it, and go from there. You could sort the listings by these different criteria if you want. I'm just leaving them in the generic sort, which is the address. And they have them arranged in different orders. I like to put my least expensive first. So all you have to do is right here, if you look where my cursor, it's an arrow. When I come over here, it turns to a hand. So I just click on that one and drag it up and they change orders. And it looks like that's my order from highest to lowest. If they were pending, it would say underneath pending. And if they were active, it would say underneath active. If you wanted to go in and make adjustments, you come right here and click on details and adjustments, and you type in the adjustment name and the amount you want to adjust it, and it'll adjust the price accordingly. I try not to get into making adjustments so much unless it's absolutely necessary. This is not an appraisal. I'm taking similar homes and similar homes to the subject criteria within the area. And that's why I sit down with my clients. I say, here's a good list based on the current market activity. I don't get into adjustments. Some agents like to do a whole lot of adjustings because they feel very confident in their ability to adjust the stuff. That's up to you. But I just want to show you where it's at. I don't make the adjustments. Okay. The updated. So I got them in the order I wanted them. I'm not setting a price here for my property because I want to give them a range, not a price. So now we're going to go, you can either hit customize report here or down here on the bottom or up here on the top, either one of these 3, because we went from criteria listing to customize. So we're going to go customize report. This is now where we're going to make the CMA. This is your standard CMA. It always defaults to the last template you used. And if you don't, I'm going to use the all pages. This is the one that if you don't create templates, it'll automatically come up to this one and put in all 39 pages, which means if you go out of here and come back in, even if you remove pages and added pages and didn't save it as a template, it'll default back to here and you got to start all over again. So here's how it automatically loads with all these pages. It's 39 pages long, and I don't know how my philosophy is less is more when I give my clients stuff. I've seen people give clients 75 pages of information. That to me, in my experience, people don't look through. They look at a couple pages and by that they're bored. If you want to send it to them electronically, that's a different thing. But 75 pages colored, that's just to me is a little bit ridiculous. But again, it's up to you and or your broker how you guys want to do things. Anyways, it starts out with all these. Anytime you see a red circle here, you can remove a page or add a page from over here. So if you're not sure what anything is, here's the title page. Here's how it's going to look, called comparative market analysis. The name of the property. Here's the overhead view I was talking about. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a purple circle right there with a star in it. the name that I put in, so you want to make sure this is spelled right, and the date. The only problem is CMA's date is always dated for the day you pull up the report. So if I was doing this for tomorrow and I ran the report today, it would come out with this date on it, and then you'd be giving it to them tomorrow. So if you're really picky about it, you run your report before you go and see them, so all the dates are the day you're going to meet with them. Let me back up and go over these. Sorry about that. You have your themes right here. You have different themes that all come to you. You can pick all these different colors that are in here. You have the modern themes, which changes some of the fonts and some of the stuff you're able to do. You have the affiliates, you have branded, you have your classic themes, whatever you want to do in here, pick them, and it automatically will change everything for you. And again, it's only for this CMA. It doesn't affect all your other CMAs that you already have in here. So if you want to go with modern gray and gold, that's my theme. Again, modern changes some of the fonts. My suggestion to you, set up a CMA on any property you want. Come in here and play around with the different themes between modern and classic to see what options are allowed you. You can kind of see what's there. I chose this theme that's going to change my coloring on everything. And then you can select your layout. You can do 3 columns, 4 columns, 2 photos, photo with a map. Now this is for the listing page only. It's going to show that. Photo with max data, 2 column. All you got to do is just click on these and it'll show different stuff for your properties. I don't like using 2 photos, and I'll explain that when we get to the photo page. I'd either go with photo map or photo with max data or something with the comparison. I'm going to go with photo with max data right here because they're all within the same subdivision. They're all pretty close to each other. That's the layout, the cover. These are, if you become a premium member to Cloud CMA, then you can spice up your cover a little more if you want. You get a free trial, but then you have to pay for these. I don't subscribe to them. I think CMA on its own offers enough tools that I don't have to become a premium member. You also can change your default, your font. And again, it's just like anything else. Go through and pick a font that you would like to use, and all the wording and anything that's typed out there will appear in that font. And I think I got the default font, whatever that is. And so we'll create the template. Once we got everything the way we want it, we'll save the template afterwards. The beauty is once you start creating templates, you can just use the same template again, but we'll get to that later. So here's my title page. And if you remember the first time I pulled it up, it was green and gold or something. Now we got the brown and gold there. That's what my title page is. I like that. The name is spelt right. Address is right. Everything looks good on that. So I'm going to leave that page. The cover letter. Here is a little blurb I have about a listing agent versus transaction coordinator. I'm going to leave that in there. I know I don't have an agent resume. Here's something about our company. Yeah, I might leave that in. This is where I start determining, am I giving them relative information, or am I just loading a book with so much information it doesn't make sense? I'd probably pull that out. Probably pull this one out too. What is a CMA? This is generated by Cloud CMA, and I like to keep this page in there because it kind of explains it a little bit. There's some good talking points out of here that if you're a newer agent and you want to just talk to some of these, read through it and talk to some of these points, you can. It's a great little page that you can kind of blow through really quickly or spend a little more time explaining what a CMA is and everything else. And it's already created for you and it looks great. Any of the pre-formatted CMA pages will always say, here's the title. I called it comparative market analysis, or you can change the title to anything you want. And here's the address right here. It will always print that on all your pages. I like this page. I'm gonna leave it in here. The contact me page, of course, is right here. Personally, I like to make this my last page. It's a lot easier for someone to find if they want to contact me. It's just at the last page. I'll show you how to move all the pages later on. This is where you want to make sure all your information is correct. You don't want something coming up that is incorrect on the contact me. Map of all listings. And I'm not going to go through every page. I'm just going to show you some of them where I showed the map page on it because you can see where all of them are. They're all numbered. The purple one corresponds with that, and then you have the other ones right here and their location. Summary of comparable properties isn't a bad page. Again, you can click through all these and see what they are, whether you want to include them or not. If you want to create chapters, you have chapter titles. I don't like using these pages personally because I don't tab my reports. So to burn a page that says listings and there's no real quick tab for them to find it, I don't like to use it. So I just discard that page. Here's the, and I'll show you how to do that. Here are the details right here. This is that page where I said with, I think I put max data. So here it is right here. And then here's your photos, first dozen on one page. The problem with the photo page for me is most good realtors put our photos together in a sequence, like they did here. Kitchen, 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 kitchen. And this is a great way to do it. It's kind of like a tour through the home. The problem is when we're doing a CMA, we can't change the arrangement of the photos. If you did the 2 photo page selection, you're gonna get 2 photos of the kitchen right away. So that's why I don't like using the 2 photo page. If you want to do adjustments for that page, it would have appeared here. Had I entered adjustments, it would have shown up on this page. And then we just go through again, different chapters and everything else like that. So now, so again, click through all these pages. There's a lot of them to kind of see which each one is and what you want to do. I've done it several times, so now I know I want to start adding pages or deleting pages that are in here. Under the details page, I want to add some more photos. I want to add all their photos. A lot of properties are coming with 40 or 60 photos in there because we're trying to show as much as we can. It's hard to do showings. Some people still don't want showings and all that other stuff. So, it only shows so many photos on a page, and you get 60 photos for a home. Now, all of a sudden, you got 3 or 4 more pages that start adding to your report. And if you work for a broker where you get so many color copies or whatever, it could be an issue. So just keep that in mind. But if you wanted to add all the pages of photos, just each one of these have drop-down arrows and will tell you what else is available underneath there. I want to add more photos, so I click, and it automatically puts it under this listing section. Because I didn't make adjustments, I want to get rid of the adjustments page. I'm going to get rid of that. And I want to get rid of this listings chapter. I don't like the listings. So now, if I look at the more photos page, see how many more pages we get here. It'll show me exactly how many more photos I get for the properties. All righty, here we go. So as you can see, it added a few more photos pages there to your report. Analyst chapter, again, analysis chapter. I don't like these headings. I'm going to get rid of it. Comparable property statistics. This tells you what they were lowest, highest, what the average was, price per square foot. You can keep it in there or not. It all comes down to what you want to talk, the talking points you want in your CMA. I don't need this. Sold property analysis. Again, they're saying homes sold on an average of 100.8% of their list price in 16 days on market. So maybe you want to keep that page in there, maybe not. The one page I recommend you guys, when I talk to other agents about is the online value analysis page. I always add this and I always include it. And I'll explain to you why. This page, I know my clients, before I got there, have already seen what their home is worth on Zillow. My CMA may or may not produce a range that's going to get them within Zillow. So what I do on the online value analysis page, this comes to us from Zillow. Zillow provides back the information. It tells you the sold date, the sold price, and the Z estimate date on the day it sold. And you can see that the estimate date, the estimate amount on the day it was sold was 577. It sold for 510. 456, it actually sold for 425. If they're sitting out there and they have this home, when I walked in to do my CMA and they saw 456 and they said, so homes are selling real good, they want to list it at 460, but the market is telling me it's going to be lower than that, this makes my conversation with them a lot easier because I say this comes from Zillow and you can see that they're not real accurate right now. Now, in some cases, Zillow's been low or spot on, but at least this makes your discussion with them as a talking point a lot easier, because you've already seen that they're actually off by 13%. Okay, an average of $67,000. Now, we know in a good market, if you list it correctly, you're going to get offers a little bit above or what you're listing it at. If you list it way too high, your property is going to sit on the market and it's going to languish there. And then you're going to have to do a price reduction, and that gets into a whole web of stuff you don't want. So that's why I always include the online value analysis, and it makes my discussion with my clients a lot easier regarding the whole Zillow issue. And again, you go in, you pull out all the pages you want. Suggested list price, because I don't have a suggested list price, I'll show you how I handle that. I pull this out, seller's net. There's a whole closing chapter. Go through all of them and see which ones you want to keep. This is a pretty good one. It's intelligent pricing and timing. Give you some great talking points on why you want to price a home, where you want to price it, and all that other stuff. Again, look through all these. They're all in here. Take your time and go through it. If you have testimonials, this is where you include it. You have a moving checklist if you want to put it in there. Showing an open house checklist if you want it. All this is there. You can put it in or not. I'm just trying to shrink this down so we don't have a massive. I wanted to keep in intelligent pricing and timing. I took it out. I click it in. It's right there. First impressions are last. Again, anything you want to leave in or not leave in, you can. And again, remember I said I wanted my contact page down at the bottom. Just click on it and drag it all the way down to the bottom. That will be my last page. Now, there are a couple other pages that don't come as pre-formatted that I want to add. They are called custom pages. Once you put something in the custom page, either a page you create or a PDF that you download, it's always there. If I had already loaded them up, they would be here. But this is a new CMA, and I'm going to show you the pages that I'm going to pull in. And to pull those in to create my custom pages, remember I told you in the beginning I saved the BS&A page. I come up here to my face and I go to custom pages. And when it loads, I have two options in custom pages once it loads. Okay, I can either add a custom page or I can my PDF pages. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is custom pages. These are different things I created. The one page I always include is your CMA criteria explained. And what this is the brief write-up of what I did to create their CMA. The top part is pretty much, I come in and change it. Here's where I put in my price range, 450,000. Again, I didn't really do the CMA. I just got all the information together to 475. I don't know if these numbers are right. I'm just showing you on this page that I would add in. Here, I went back 12 months. I tell them what I searched it for. Sometimes this is very long and elaborate. Sometimes it's pretty quick like this, okay? Because all the homes were built in that subdivision in the same time, I don't have to get into explanation too much. The most important thing are, number one, this sentence right here that says this comparative market analysis is not an appraisal. You have to be very clear that if you are not a licensed appraiser, that you are not giving them an appraisal. And so there are several points throughout my CMAs where this note appears so that later on they can't come back to me and for legal purposes and say, well, you said it was an appraisal. No, it's not. I've made it very clear. I also put in there something that this first paragraph that says, hey, I'm basing this solely on pictures. I haven't looked at your house. I don't know what your upgrades are. Yeah, you told me you had, your house is the Taj Mahal, but the reality is it's not. And based on the photos of the other homes I'm seeing, when I walk into your home, as we know in the markets, there's always good, better, and best. Are you in the best category, the good category, the better category? Okay, people's, oh, I have a finished basement, and you walk in, they have some drywall up on the exterior walls, a little carpeting, no finished ceiling, and anything like that, but they're calling it a finished basement. Versus that one home I pulled up on the with the pictures where they had the columns wrapped, they had a pool table down there, drop ceiling, and everything else. I put in there in the first paragraph that, hey, I haven't really looked at your home, I'm basing it sight unseen. And the second paragraph is, it's based on the market at the time the CMA was prepared. Depending on when you go to list your home, this may or may not be relevant. I don't want to give you a CMA and then even 60 days later you go to list your home and say, well, Chris, here's what you told me it was. Maybe there was a market shift for whatever reason. But these three notes always appear at the bottom of my custom page that's titled Your CMA Criteria Explained. And I pull this into my report, okay? And because it's a custom page, when I pull up my custom page list where I was creating the template, it will always show. The other ones that aren't there yet are these PDFs that I had for today. So I can do this. I want to upload the PDFs. And I already have, here were the three that I already saved today. Here's my BSA tax info. I'm going to open that. This is how quickly it loads to your Cloud CMA. And then it'll be right there. I'm going to upload another PDF, which is the Zillow, because I went on Zillow this morning, pulled up what Zillow says their home is worth. I'm going to open that and add that. I actually need to change the page, but we'll leave it for it right now. And they're saying 478. And there's one more page I like to include, the page that MiRealSource has for us, which is the market stats with the homes in Sterling Heights. I ran the report this morning. I saved off of it. So I'm going to include that so I can show them, how the market's trending and what's going on. If you've had the market stats class, you'll know what this page is all about. And I'm going to open that. I'm going to pull that in. So now these are all permanently part of my custom pages under the PDF section. So now we're going back to my CMA. I usually load my custom pages first. I save them all and bring them in. Then when I create my CMA, it's an easy step. And they're going to pull up the CMAs. Here's the one I was working on. We're going to edit it. And you don't have to go through update listings and everything. You can come right here to customize because the listings haven't changed. We're going right here to customize. It's going to pull everything up. Now, modern gray and gold, we stayed with the default template. So I want to get rid of the agent resume, our company. I want to leave it. Sorry, some of these I got to move around now because I didn't save the template and it defaulted to the last template. And I want to be able to show you. Bear with me while I jump around here really quickly and get this kind of where it needs to be. If you have a marketing action plan, you can create that page and just leave it in there and tweak it as needed. Commission distribution. Okay. This again is just to show you some stuff. We don't need all this. And where's my one page analysis? My online value analysis. I like that one. Okay, now I'm going to add my custom pages. So I come over here to custom pages. Your CMA criteria explained. So I'm going to add that. It'll put it at the bottom. That's okay right now. My CMA class BS&A tax info, my Zillow, and my market stats. Now, it automatically adds them at the bottom because they're custom pages, but I can move them wherever I want. My CMA criteria explained, I'm going to move all the way up right here. I don't need this. I'm going to get rid of this cover letter. So here's my CMA criteria explained. I want actually CMA first, criteria explained. If I wanted to make any changes to my criteria explained, just click on edit. You can change it. My contact me, as I said, I like at the bottom. My market stats, I'm talking about market and everything first in the beginning so they can kind of see what's going on here. And my BSA tax info, I include at the bottom. And the Zillow one I put right after the anywhere in there, online value analysis or whatever. So it goes to the Zillow page, shows what their home is worth at 478. And then the next page after that is the online value analysis looking, saying, hey, I know you've seen it at 478. Maybe I'm saying the house is only worth 465. And right now, Zillow's kind of off in your area. At least it helps with your discussion. Now, here's the important thing. Now you have to come up and save your template, because if I get out of this for any reason and come back, the custom pages won't be added. All those pages I took out will be in and everything else. So you have to save your template. All you have to name is save template. Click on that and you rename it. However you want to name it is up to you. That will be that template at all times for the CMA. So it's saved. So if I get it out and come back, it'll be saved in this order. Now you can, once you got everything all set up the way you want, you publish your report. And when you publish the report, once it's loading, you're going to have several different options right here. You can email the report, copy as a PDF link, copy to live link, but you want to view the PDF. And here's what your report is going to look like. And just scroll through it. If you don't like the order, you can go through and change the pages or add stuff, delete stuff. I don't know what happened on this page. I did it right before class, so I think I need to change some stuff out and reformat that page. Anyways, here's what it's going to look like with all the photos and everything else in it, so they can see. Again, here's each home. Here's what it closed at, days up. By seeing all these photos, you can also kind of get a feel for what homes look like when they sold and what homes look like when you walk through their home, okay? So anyways, this is the whole report. If you don't want to include all those pages, you don't have to. Right now, my report's 39 pages long. Here's the Zillow thing. Here's the Zillow page I told you about, sold property analysis. Everything is in here that we talked about, notes at the end, the value of your home, some other stuff. Here's the tax page. So if they want to say, where'd you get this information from? Well, it's you know, public record data off from the county. This is what they're showing your information for. And here's my contact me page. It's 39 pages long. That's a little long for me for a couple reasons. Number one, when I do a CMA, especially a house in this value range, but really in any home value, I usually go to any one of the print shops and I have it printed on heavier weight paper and two-sided printing. It looks better, it feels better, it looks more professional. And if I'm going to sit down to somebody and ask for, you know, $450,000 listing, I want my CMA report to be the slickest report that they get when I hand it there. Not someone that printed it off on their home, you know, on their home printer at home or anything else like that. It's going to cost me $12 or $15 to print out the CMA to give them. You know, it's going to be bound. The edges are going to be spiral edged. It's going to have a nice clear cover on it. It's going to look good. It's going to feel good, and it's going to help set the tone from the very first piece of information I give them all the way through how I'm going to take care of them and the attention to detail that I'm going to give. That's just me personally. So my CMAs run me about, you know, $15, but maybe I won't include all the pictures or whatever. I play around with it once I get it. That's what your CMA would look like if you were to print it out. I always also print out a black and white copy for me, so I have talking points in case I want to make notes or whatever in it. But that's what I do there for the CMA. You also you can view it live. So we click on view it live. So there are a couple ways to do it live. Here are all those pages. It kind of gives a cool little breakdown of it so that you can do it live with somebody. You can start your presentation right here. I suggest before you do this one, you do it and go through it a couple times in practice. And the other one is, here's how it would look live. It takes it and it kind of creates a slick little presentation for you. Get familiar with, so the graphs and everything are going to look a little different on here. so that you can share it with them and do things. Do it with your clients. So it's going to look a little better. And today, if you're not going to be sitting down with them and meeting with them, you face to face. This is also good if you want to bring them into your office, into your conference room, and you can either mirrorcast or connect to your TV and bring the screen up and walk them through this. Still give them the booklet, but show them this, there on your TV in your conference room. Again, know what everything's going to be before you just start popping up through it and going through it right now, kind of like what I am. And those are your different ways to present it. Let me get rid of this. Hold on a second. And again, you can also email the report to them or copy it as a PDF link and send it to them. So that's how you would prepare your CMA. A very nice, slick presentation. We have the two ways. Again, the first one is directly out of Paragon, and the second one is to go through Cloud CMA and create the presentation. And again, whenever you come back to Cloud CMA and you open up your report, you can do them. They're right here. View PDF, view live. You also have the option on this one. Here are your other ways you can send it as a PDF link, as a live link. Here's a slideshow, which is another option for you, which is different than live. So it's the one I was looking for. It pops up like this, kind of a little old school, doesn't look as slick. You have your arrows down here, your home button tells you to go left or right, and it just starts going through everything. You got a down button here, so now it's going to show you your homes that are sold, and all the pictures and everything else are going to load up here. Again, this is if you're meeting somebody somewhere where you have access to a bigger screen or want to send it to them, you can do this in this slideshow presentation. If you want to make changes, you click on Edit, and all you have to do is come up here to Customize Pages, and it'll take you to the edit portion of everything, which is right there. Then you go through and edit it. Make sure you save the template. Otherwise, what will end up happening is any changes you make, it'll refer back to this template. The last thing is, if you come up here to it may be if you have your picture loaded, it'll be your photo. If not, it could be your initials. There you go. Lead generation. This is actually covered in a lead generation class, but I'm going to reinforce it because we're here today. If you click on lead generation, you get this link that says, what's your home worth landing page? And if you hit copy link, you can automatically share it on Facebook, embed it in your website. If you have your website, share it on Twitter, Pinterest, and then people will click on that. If you set it up on Facebook where you tell them what it's about in the first sentence and call to action and why it's valuable for you in 3 sentences, keep it really short, and people click on that, it'll land them on this page. It'll use the last template that you have saved, so you want to make sure that you have the correct template saved for what they're going to get, because they're going to get a mini CMA from you. You don't want them getting all 39 pages. And the beauty of it all is, in this case, it will pull those quick and dirty ones that we talked about in the beginning. The nice thing about this for lead generation, in order for them to get this information, they have to put in an email address. Otherwise, the system won't send them the information. And it asks for a cell phone number too. But they for sure have to give in an email address. And so that way, you're going to see that someone clicked on it and you got an email address from them. We've had some agents who have used this to, posted it on Facebook. It's in the rotation of things they post on Facebook to stay top of mind. They have success with it, where every time they post it, they get a couple of people clicking on it, and they're able to capture the emails and turn into potential clients. Other people have done it and said, I've got no response. So it's up to you if you want to do it. I just wanted to show you where that was. CMA also is pretty powerful because you have buyer tours, property, and the flyers. There's a lot you can do with CMA other than just your basic CMAs for your buyers or for your potential listings. Before I go, I'm just going to wrap up with a couple of things. Got to change screens real quick. We're going to pull this screen over, get rid of CMA. Back on our home screen. any of the stuff we talked about today, you'll be able to find over here if you go to MLS. You can see here's all our quick links for stuff that we have up there. If you have any class schedules, anything else you can find here. Your MLS documents will be in this top header bar, and you come over here to MLS documents, and this is where you'll find our education, which has a lot of our files and different forms, and some of the handouts that are in here, some of the cheat sheets that we have are in here. They're arranged by how we update them. They're not in any kind of order unless that's changed, Deb. Is it still the same way?
I usually put them in alphabetical order. Unless there's something new, I'll let it stay at the top for a bit.
Yeah, so they're kind of in here. Deb does a good job. Cloud CMA is right here. If you want to find it, gives a brief blurb on it, and you click on that, and then it'll pull up the information that you might want to see. And then back on the home page, MLS. All right, Deb, I always forget where it is. Where's the YouTube page?
A little further up into the blue box. See,
right in here?
There you go. Yep. YouTube
page. There you go. If you go here, we have our own YouTube page. MiRealSource does. A lot of these training sessions are all recorded. You can just you can come through here and find all of them for additional help. So that's kind of everything that's going on. Deb, if I missed anything, I'll give it back to you and let you close us out.
Actually, I think you got it all.
Oh, okay.
So that is one of the things about this being a live webinar as opposed to being in class. It is a little quicker. We don't stop to work with individual people because we just really can't. I mean, but just so you guys know, if you want some one-on-one help, we are certainly able to reach out. We can do this as a one-on-one as well, where you can share your screen, we can share our screen. Just holler at me, let me know, and we will get you set up with either Chris or one of our other trainers, because we did have some pretty good questions in here. It was about the ages of homes, how to add those, the PDFs like Chris did, so those are really cool. Don't forget, those are also in the cheat sheets. And in the MLS documents, we have the folder that Chris showed you was the education folder. That's the one we share with all of our vendored MLSs, you know, that we are vendoring multiple MLSs across the state now. And there's another folder called MIRS education, which has a little bit more, that has all the products that we have in there. So I wouldn't want you to miss those few sheets that are not in there. Already subscribed. Yep, and Win is already subscribed, so don't forget, if you are subscribing, let me know, because not all of those subscriptions are visible. So just holler at me and let me know. All right.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. Good luck to you in 2022. Hopefully everything goes smoothly, and I appreciate your time today, and thank you for listening.
And then I'll get this up in another day or two. I just like to edit it, make sure that's really good, put some animations in there, make it really nice for you guys. But we do have plenty of other CMA videos that are, thanks Joy, plenty of other videos that are uploaded on the YouTube. So if you wanted to go directly right away and watch one of those videos, there's plenty of them there. Go ahead, watch, subscribe, that way you won't miss anything, because my quick tip videos are going to be starting up really soon here. Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate you today.
Real quickly, I want to add the two things that'll make it go easier for you on CMAs if you become proficient at searching for properties and knowing your way around Cloud CMA. So you can always create a Cloud CMA off of any property you want. Just practice it a little bit. We're all spending a lot of time at home. We're getting bored with Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, the movies, Netflix, everything else. I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but take a half hour or 45 minutes to blow through a CMA and practice doing some and screwing around with the different, changing the templates and changing the colors and all that. So you kind of get something that's customized for you. Create your custom pages up front so that when you go to do that CMA, it's all done super quick for you. You don't have to mess around with it. I mean, you can knock out a really good CMA presentation, and I would say probably in about an hour when you have everything set up the way you do. From the time you start your search, save your pages, bring them in, modify a few other pages, and slam it all together so that you can get it to your client that, you know, within a day or two, and it really sets you apart from other people when you walk in there. That's it.
Excellent. Thanks, Chris. All right, we will see you guys next week. Don't forget, we have our Mixing It Up. We are already starting to advertise that, so go ahead and jump on board. That's going to be with our lawyer, who's going to be giving you a little bit of help for the upcoming year. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye, Chris. We'll see you soon.
Bye.